Hello fellow brush licking enthusiasts. Welcome to another video. This one's going to be about brush maintenance and cleaning and how to take care of your brushes over a long period of time so they don't get all gummed up and start to make your paint taste bad. I've been slacking lately and I haven't cleaned my brushes for like a solid 2 weeks, so I thought this would be a good chance to talk about it. I'm mainly going to be cleaning my sable brushes today, but this applies to sable brushes, synthetic brushes, dry brushes, basically any brush. As you can see, I got a brush graveyard here of all my old synthetic brushes, and honestly, I still use a lot of these to this day, but when you first start off, it's a pretty good chance you're going to obliterate a lot of brushes. So I think the first thing I should talk about when it comes to brush maintenance is that maintaining a brush really all comes down to how you use it to begin with. So this metal part of the brush here, this is called the ferrule, and you never want to get paint in the ferrule because this is what helps the brush bristles maintain their shape. It holds them all into this fine point, right? So when you're dipping your brush in paint, and it doesn't matter whether you're using a palette or whether you're dipping straight out of the bottle, you're never going to dip the brush all the way up to the ferrule. You're literally just going to dip the very tip of your brush into the paint, and then if you need less paint, you can like wipe it off a little bit, right? Oh, there you go. Perfect. That's easy. Sorry, the camera's blurry. I got no idea what I'm doing when it comes to camera work, but you get the idea. Now, obviously, this is easier said than done, and there's like some technique to it, and all different paints act differently. I find like white paints and metallic paints tend to flow up the bristles into the ferrule anyways, which is why it's important to be rinsing your brush fairly frequently while you're painting. Don't just like slap some paint in your bristles and then like paint for like an hour straight, because it's going to dry up in there and then your brush is going to be super clogged up. I like to paint for like, I don't know, like 1 or 2 little like armor plates or something, and then I'll rinse the brush. I never use it for more than like a couple minutes at a time. As soon as I notice the paint starting to dry in the brush, I pretty much just rinse it off right away and just grab some new paint off the palette. And I could talk endlessly about brush technique, but it's honestly probably almost a separate video on its own. So I think I'll leave it there for now, and then I'll get into the actual mechanics of cleaning and maintaining brushes. There's basically 3 products that I use to maintain all my brushes, so I'll just take you through them real quick and explain each one. First one is some kind of soap. This is some kind of hobby brand brush specific soap. You can also use dish soap. Dish soap is a little bit harsher. I think this is maybe like tailored for brushes or something. At least that's what they'll tell you. But anyways, dish soap works too. The second one is a gel. Same thing, hobby brand brush repair gel. You can also use hair gel like Dippity Doo or whatever else, whatever the cheap hair gel you can get from like, I don't know, Walmart or whatever it is. That works totally fine. And you're gonna use this to basically like hone the point of the brush if it gets really mangled. So you like leave it out on your desk pressed against something and it gets bent or whatever. This is pretty useful for shaping it back to like a triangular point. I'll explain how to do that a little bit later. This last one, I really don't know what this stuff is, but it's like a Vallejo brush restorer. Let me tell you, this stuff looks like antifreeze and it also tastes exactly like antifreeze. Don't try it yourself, but you can take my word for it. But this stuff works insanely well as just like sort of like a regular way to make the bristles a bit more supple and restore the point a bit if it's not too mangled. So I'll explain how to use that later as well. Starting off, we're going to take our soap here, and basically what you want to do is just put a dab of soap on the end of your brush. This one I accidentally left a little bit of Agrax Earthshade in it, so it's all stiff. I didn't rinse it off properly. So we'll start with that. A little bit of soap, maybe let it soak in a little bit. And then I just like to get a bit of water here. Get my handy dandy water spoon here. Drip it on there, drip it on the paper towel. And then basically just go around in gentle circles. And you don't want to like press too hard. You don't want to actually press all the way down to the base of the bristles. You can kind of spin and twist as you go like that. Circle one way, circle the other. It'll start to froth up. I don't know if you can see that on the camera, honestly. But anyways, go like that. And then I also like to pull and spin like that. Not pressing too hard on the base of the bristles because you don't want to snap them off. Like, they do snap off if you push too hard on them. And there you go like that. Get a little bit more water. Keep cleaning. You can see all that crap coming off the brush, just like weird brown bits of muck. I think that's mostly Earthshade and stuff like that. And then once you feel like your brush is clean, so you lose a couple bristles. I always lose a couple bristles every time I brush it. Basically just rinse it off and you're good to go. Easy, look at that. Dry it up, nice clean brush. If it is a day that you want to use the brush restore, then you take your combination brush restore / magnetized painting handle. You just fire the bottle open, soak the brush in there for like 30 seconds. I'm just going to do it for a few seconds now for the sake of the video, but I would leave it in there for about 30 seconds, maybe swish it around a bit. tap it a little bit off, and then I like to just leave it sort of wet. I don't actually dry the brush off when I do this. And then I just put it vertically in the paint stand over here to dry like that. And then as that dries, that'll reshape the point of the brush a little bit and make the bristles nice and sort of supple again. And finally, if your brush is sort of a mangled stump like this one, or if it's like really hooped, you can basically just get your gel, you know, brush gel or hair gel or whatever you're using, and get a little bit of that in there. And then I like to use my fingers to sort of spread it around through the brush, and then just pull and spin and pull and spin and pull and spin. And this can only go so far, but this will get it back into a nice point, give it enough hair gel and enough twisting. There we go. That's kind of like a bit of a decent point there. So you put that back, let that dry. That'll dry into sort of like a rock hard point, and then you rinse it off in warm water and you're good to go. I would say that realistically, you probably don't ever want to let your brushes get to that point, and just try and keep them nice and pointy the whole way, just through proper use and regular cleaning. Like some of these brushes, I mean, I've been using this brush for like a year now. This one for about 4 or 5 months. Painted tons of models with these. This one is coming up on a year too, actually, and it's still got like a good number of bristles and a pretty solid point that's a size 2. So, you know, if you just maintain your brushes well and you don't get them all gummed up with paint right from the start, they stay pretty good over a long period of time. Anyways, just wanted to talk about that today because I was cleaning all my brushes in one sitting. And yeah, if you liked the video, you found it helpful, hit that like and subscribe button, and yeah, check out my TikTok or my Instagram or whatever. I got lots of painted stuff there if you want to see what I'm working on. I'm out. Later. Bye.